There's this thing in fiction that is absolutely necessary for all of us to enjoy it. It's called suspension of disbelief. Audiences who enjoy fiction need to suspend their disbelief and recognize that fictional elements are, well, fiction. A message that unfortunately missed everyone's mark these days. This is done so that people can still enjoy fiction, even if there are fantastical elements on them. This is the reason why we can totally believe in the Lord of the Rings universe. We can have magics and elves and dwarves and all of that. But here's the thing, just because we can believe unrealistic things in fiction, doesn't mean that everything that's actually real in the real world can apply to the fictional world. This is why we also have this thing called immersion. The fictional world that we live in needs to be believable. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to immerse ourselves within that world. For example, Skyrim is a game with dragons, elves, orcs, and all sorts of magic, but you wouldn't be immersed in this world if you see a Cobra car all of a sudden. That doesn't belong in Skyrim. That clearly belongs in Age of Empires. We already have a game with fantasy races and magic in a modern setting with cars and guns. It's called Shadowrun. Great games, by the way. Go play them. Speaking of Skyrim, Starfield is Bethesda's latest offering for a space RPG, and it's a game that leans slightly more into a realistic space exploration game. Yes, the game does have other slightly less realistic elements in a sci-fi setting, like alien creatures and robots, but there are some really basic things that would take us out of the experience, like pronouns! Culture war brain rot is so real.
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah, I'll save that for later. For now, let's explore gas giants.
You cannot go to these planets because exploration was a lie. Jesus, it gets so worse.
You mean it gets so much worse? And no, you cannot explore Saturn or Jupiter. They are what's called gas giants. They're not exactly solid planets. If you try to get through them, it's nothing but darkness, as noted by the community notes right there. These are all basic stuff that we were taught in freaking primary school, and yet somehow this guy didn't get it. It just kind of highlights the failure of our education system. Then again, Sherlock is notorious for not knowing that the Earth goes around the sun. Not just BBC Sherlock, book Sherlock as well. The same guy was given explanations to why gas giants are not explorable, but the guy says, so it's a sim now. Hey, Forza Horizon isn't exactly a sim either, but that doesn't mean that gravity shouldn't apply in this world and that cars should just fly and get through walls.
Yeah, and you can't make a spaceship in the shape of a robot, but I guess we choosy on fiction, huh?
Yes, we are choosy in fiction. Those are elements that would take us out of the experience because some planets are just straight up uninhabitable and you cannot walk on them. This is basic primary school science. Fiction has some rules that they need to adhere to because when it has no rules, that means that anything can happen. If anything can happen, it will be a boring fiction. There's no suspense, there's no thrill. The unpredictable nature, ironically, turns predictable. That's why they need to have rules.
You can't physically use jetpacks or make aliens into pets using mind control, but I mean, here we are.
Yeah, and you can't exactly have the kind of tracks built-in Trackmania in real life either, but it doesn't mean that the cars should be able to literally defy gravity and fly.
We can't travel at the speed of light or disrupt gravity with our minds either, dumbass. Also, Cloud City says hi. You know, the floating city on the gas planet of Bespin in Star Wars.
For context, this is how Cloud City looks like. And yes, it's just floating above the gas planet Bespin to mine the gas on the planet. Bespin, whatever. But you might notice how the city is like at the very top of the planet, floating. You're not exploring the insides of the planet, which is what that guy was proposing. He wants to walk and explore on the planet itself, not the floating city that was floating at the top of the planet. Also, comparing the world of Star Wars to Starfield is like comparing Elder Scrolls to Assassin's Creed. Yes, they are both technically fiction. Yes, they have stuff that are unbelievable and cannot be done in the real world, but both worlds have different rules that allow you to immerse yourself within that world. There's a reason why it's more believable that we have psychic powers in a sci-fi setting than a gas giant that's explorable, or for that matter, suns that are explorable.
That's not a planet, it's a star, and you should be able to fly around its surface.
That's true, you should be able to do that. The same way you should be able to walk around the edge of a cliff. You're gonna freaking die if you do that. You moron. And that's one hoopla out of the two that we're going to talk about today. If you want to see more of these, then check out APB Show channel, link down below. New stream at Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where I talk about new hooplas live and full of swearing that YouTube won't allow without a yellow $ . Anyway, let's get to the next one.
You cannot go to these planets because exploration was a lie. Jesus, it gets so worse.
Anyway, let's get to the next one. 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 Anyw Ah, yes, we got more and more dating tips from some alpha males who think that they're above and beyond being nice. Or to put it another way, being a general asshole.
Girls friendzone guys who say, drive safe, text me when you're home, please be careful, I'm so proud of you, dress warm, eat well, get enough sleep, don't stay out too late, text me your address just in case. Women want a man, not a soy boy.
I'm sorry, but how are all of these things bad to say? And how are these things gonna make girls to friendzone you? If these things are not good to say to girls because they will make them to friendzone you, does that mean that we should say the opposite to make them to love you? Hey girl, don't drive safe. Please don't get enough sleep. Stay out too late. Don't eat well, and stay fat forever. For the record, this person is some sort of alpha male pickup artist seduction trainer of some sort, so he's not exactly someone who should be trusted with opinions of women, especially when they said, all women are different, yet all women are wonderfully the same. This nonsensical doublespeak is just a tease for you to sign up to their BS guide, but that's not my favorite part. My favorite part is this really long reply to clarify what the hell they were talking about in the first tweet.
Enough, you idiot! Shorten this stupid story to 20 words or less!
The comments on this post, take some time to actually read response to the comments before you drop some stupid comment.
That's a good advice. Shame that you didn't take that when you made the first tweet.
No, I'm not saying you can't say these things.
Yes, that's exactly what you implied. You implied that if you say these things, girls are going to friendzone you. People who are single don't want girls to friendzone them. That means if you don't want girls to friendzone you, you have to not say these things. Maybe you should be more careful of how you say your freaking tweets so that they are not open to interpretation, implication, or suggestion.
I'm saying that you have to have depth to your personality.
Nowhere in the original tweet where you said something like that, but okay, keep on clarifying.
She'll like your sweet comments in the beginning, but they'll quickly become annoying and cloying.
Yeah, that's because you don't say them sincerely. You say them just to get to their pants. Maybe next time try saying them sincerely, and maybe then they'll actually buy it.
Tease, joke, banter, be polarizing, challenge, disqualify, banter some more. Then, only then, you can say the things above.
Gee, it's almost as if girls want guys that are fun or something.
Be a lamb and a lion. If you're only a lamb, you'll ruin the sexual tension, causing her to friendzone you.
Or to put it another way, don't let her dominate you emotionally. Yes, we know. What other wisdoms that you got?
By only being sweet and thoughtful, you'll remove sexual tension, which removes physical attraction.
I want to know what kind of girls have you been talking, because being sweet and loving are generally more welcoming to people than being sour and hating. Do they just so happen to be hoes? Because that's like the most common trait that these alpha males have. They always date hoes and think that every women are like them.
Get more hoes.
This is based on years of science. If you have a different perspective, fine, good for you, but it won't change reality.
I love how you delude yourself into thinking that what you're saying is facts, even though it's not. But then again, that's to be expected by someone whose only female interactions involve nothing but hoes.
If Jesus can't save these hoes, why are you trying?
To all the men and women slamming the comments with toxic masculinity, well, it's not.
I mean, what else do you call not being nice to women in order to show off your masculinity?
Never ever have a man managed to maintain frame while being only sweet and thoughtful. The result of that will be that his girl will literally own him emotionally. He will get pussy trance and she'll literally carry his balls in her purse.
Thank you for confirming that the only women that you know are spiteful, vindictive, and manipulative hoes. Maybe try to get women that don't push you to become this much of an asshole, and try to get women that bring the best of you. The live-action Disney movies have been nothing but cynical and miserable cash grabs. I unfortunately watched the live-action Mulan as punishment for being an ass, which is among some of the most miserable, boring, and most formulaic movie that I have ever seen in my entire life. Disney's latest attempt, The Little Mermaid, is an insult to an absolute classic. The Little Mermaid is among my top 5 favorite Disney movies of all time, and that live-action movie does nothing but to give me and the original a middle finger. The same goes to another classic, Pinocchio, in which the original is my favorite Disney movie of all time, and the infinitely better than the remake version, Guillermo del Toro's version, is one of the best movies released in the same year as that awful remake. So when I heard that they're gonna remake Hunchback of Notre Dame, I am even more insulted because that is also among my top 5 favorite Disney movies of all time. Thankfully, we have a rare instance where someone's absolute trash taste in movies managed to save it from being doomed into live-action remake stupidity. Turns out there are benefits for having trash taste in life. Thank you, Disney CEO Bob Iger, for having a garbage taste, because apparently he didn't like the original Hunchback of Notre Dame because he has a garbage taste in movies. And because he has a garbage taste in movies, this absolute Disney masterpiece is not going to be touched by the creatively bankrupt and greedy corporate shell that is the Disney Corporation. This does explain why Disney tend to remake more popular works rather than the less popular ones. Treasure Planet is safe at least, also one of my top 5 Disney films of all time. And this probably explains why they didn't remake their more embarrassing entries like Song of the South. I mean, why not? Shouldn't we be remaking the crap that has good ideas but poor execution rather than remaking already good movies and turning them into crap? But hey, that's just me. And that's all for the Hoopas today. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to click the like button on this video and subscribe for more. And as always, huge thanks to all of you absolutely wonderful people who have donated to this channel. If you want to see your names among these absolute mad lads, then check out the list down below where you can donate just $1 and consider yourself part of the mad lads. Seriously, thank you so much, and I will see you all next time.